Hi everybody, it's Brett here from Metropole. Well, do you remember the mining town stories of the late 2000s? The early 2000s was dominated by mining, with export prices skyrocketing, causing boom conditions in many mining cities and towns around the country. By the late 2000s, however, both export prices and property prices had begun to free fall just as quickly. This led to many investors, particularly those later to the party, stuck with a large amount of negative equity, leaving many struggling to recover. While lessons have been learned, there are always those mining time type scenarios in each and every property cycle. So what will it be this time around? Well, I believe it'll be the inner city high-rise apartments in many of our capital cities that will take the place of the mining town. And the warning signs are already plain to see. First of all, I'm not suggesting that there's going to be a boom or necessarily a bust for these types of properties, but what I'm suggesting is that there's some severe warning signs here that there were with mining towns, and they make very, very, very poor investment choices. The problem right now is that they're starting to become in more demand from inexperienced investors or home buyers, because they're starting to look relatively cheap. They haven't gone up in price for a long, long time. There's a lot of stock on the market, so they've got to go up in value sometime, right? Well, not necessarily, and that's where the problem lies. So understanding the demand in the longer term rather than just focusing on the shorter term is going to be really, really critical here. And there's already a number of warning signs out there for those that haven't seen them. I'm sure you have. The first thing are the huge amount of structural defects that are happening around the place, especially within New South Wales. A lot of the newer properties, you see the older properties back in the 70s, 80s were built when things were made to last, from bricks and solid stone and things like that. And construction materials are vastly different now. There's also a lot of cladding issues, and you would have had huge ramifications with those fires in Sydney and overseas. There's around 400 or 500 in Victoria and New South Wales alone that have been earmarked with cladding problems moving forward. There's also generally with these newer kinds of properties, always poor tradesmanship. There's always building defects and structural issues, and even the cosmetic issues. I guess again they can be repaired, but it does come at a cost. On top of that, there's also high commissions and kickbacks, and a lot of people don't understand that the champagne sunsets, the models, and the slick salesmen, along with those rental guarantees and things like that, are all factored into the price. So for me, that's really, really important to understand. There are just too many warning signs and too many risks there. Moving forward, also, I see demand stopping as well, because the way COVID has changed things is really going to impact the lifestyle and the type of properties we're living in moving forward. People don't want to live in the high-rise, inner city jam-packed apartments. They want a bit more space, a Zoom room, a gym. They want a bit more outdoor space as well, like a bigger balcony or a courtyard. So demand's going to drop. Our borders are closed. The people who are generally taking up these kinds of properties and taking up the demand are the overseas investors, the new arrivals to this country, and also student accommodation. All those are on the back burner for now. So it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And obviously, while I'm suggesting that there's probably not going to be a bust or major problem here, it's going to hamper you in a number of different ways, from building your asset base, and even for a homeowner, you want your asset appreciating or your home appreciating without all the headaches and risks that these opportunities present. So it's really important to understand that. Don't focus on the short term, maybe look longer term, particularly moving forward. These properties may just leave you with no to low growth, but in a worst case scenario, you could be trapped and stuck with negative equity like we have been with the mining towns and the other investments in the past. So that's my 2 cents for today. Thanks for watching.